You were always a happy child.
Yeah, there's a profound background behind the scenes, under the surface, subconscious, brought to the surface, conscious, to create conscious what is subconscious, and that is like poking at us, and that put into the equation is not being ignored when it's poking at us, as being the way you should be thinking about it, even because it's scary. It's scary to like, because that means that you have to like have faith and step out in faith. And what if you fall? What if you won't not die? It's not to be underestimated. The lack of all that great information is going to leave you with a great anti that information, concept, conclusion, fear, lack of the ability to have that, to not be afraid, right? Because this is where you're at. You have this much of the truth that's there just to hopefully, get you to focus your attention on it. I'm done. I'm with you, Faith. Don't let that fucking ruin your fucking can opener, son. I love you. Don't let it. Don't let anything ruin anything. Look at the feelings. If you let that make you feel, then the feeling that way doesn't really matter to you, which, or isn't noticed to you. That is what you, is the, to just focus on the feeling and learn something here. You want to feel that way because the same conclusion can come from you just noticing the feeling that you're feeling, not the I'm the reason because I'm ruining what? That's ruining my speech for you, and a little bit because I'm trying to like accommodate. It's slowing it down. I'm trying to get you to think of things the right way, Faith.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you. Let's train ourselves to catch those feelings that those emotions that don't feel good, because we do it to ourselves by not just going with it. And like, if you work for Captain Hook and then Peter Pan shows up and he's like this, that, and the other, and you're over there listening to it, then Captain Hook's looking at you like, hey, and you're gonna feel like this pressure, right? That's what's going on. That's what's going on. You need to make an effort to say like I want to work for Captain. I want to work for Peter Pan though. All I have to do is get him to like me, so it's worth it. Because he doesn't, then what are you gonna do? You're not gonna like fire me? And would that be so bad? Captain Hook sucks. I'd rather be homeless. So okay. And he tries to keep you busy to stop you from thinking about that. So just make a conscious effort on trying to hear what Peter Pan says, even though it makes you feel uncomfortable because your boss is watching and you know that that's like anti what he stands for. Yeah? Makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that an anti-spirit, anti-feeling is an anti-feeling, anti-you. Anti-you. Empty. Anti-me, so M. And get it down to a T so you know that it's empty. Okay? And that's what it is. So did that make enough sense for you to put it together, what you should realize? Focus. It's gonna cause for you probably right now, but fight that. Don't think that that's not because I'm telling you the right thing, then that you should listen. And if you did, you'd learn what that spirit by being the opposite of what the right spirit, what you'll get if you wants you to do, wants you to listen to, wants you it wants you to feel when you hear that. Okay? Like, you could feel good about it, and that'd be you going to like your subconscious like values that in mind. With those in mind, it helps you to like keep you in the frame of mind you need to be to realize that you should be interested in enjoying this if you had the right interest in your sight and the scope of your framework, your mind. And your consciousness. Like if you need to get your license, I'm not going to just study for that shit for no reason. But if I want to get my license, then I'm going to have the. So think about the reward that's more valuable than this. If you can sacrifice this, which is nothing, for something more valuable, which is that's the cost, which is required, because that's the action that you're taking to pay for what you know is worth more, like deep down, if you thought about it. And you shouldn't, it should be a you invested in order to receive. Right? You get it? Do you get it? Well, then you should. Okay, good. I hope that it's giving you the feeling that you should be holding on to. You know what I mean?
Where's the can opener? It's in the drawer. What? The can opener's in the utensil drawer.
So, I have the understanding. I need to explain this to someone. You need to start showing me that you want me to explain it to you, because what I just said was true, and what you said was true, you get it, and that goes along with that. You're enjoying it, so if you get it, that's what I was talking about. You're not if you don't have the right things in mind. You just like you have a lack of awareness and a surplus of ignorance to things that you don't think, but if you did, you should keep in mind. Don't let this just be like hit you and fucking. You have to work. You know it's right, and you know it works. You know what it means. You know what it does. You know what it gets. What it'll give you. It'll develop, and what it'll mean. It'll keep progressively develop in you. And that's valuable. And that's worth that value, when you feel it, is what's going to give you the feeling you need to know for it to be valuable, which is how you could overcome evil. The power of Christ compels you.
Like the time I bet the kids they couldn't hit the ceiling.
But if it doesn't, the power of Satan compels you by default. See how it works?
I am going to give you the secret to marital bliss.
And I just did it. He's not going to give it to you, but that's why
When your mother got pregnant with Robert, the hormones turned her into
I don't feel comfortable, because you don't.
She cried for no reason. 2 seconds
We
later,
don't.
she wanted to cuddle. She was like demented.
Realize that I should feel like the king, and the king wouldn't fucking trip on saying this over. Yeah, there's time. But there's a time for this, and it hasn't been up until now. So now I'm supposed to, now that I'm here, I'm supposed to be like, oh, okay, after this, in the commercial break off. Or am I supposed to fucking respect this, trust the reward in respecting this, and an active respect for this, and value for this, and ceremonial
Yeah, I know you do.
It comes
Just
with
keep telling yourself she's nuts. Say it.
challenge. It's challenging for me to give myself the perception of a king who's groomed to like care less for anybody else's like peace of mind or something about if they're even if they're wrong, right or wrong, if they're just trained for that. But if they're wrong, I'm lacking that to even not let that like I know they're wrong, but that still has the effect it has on them. Takes their peace away, and I respect that. So and that's good, but I have to connect those bridges together with the information to come to the understanding that that's good that I respect their peace, but also I respect their peace enough to show them that that's if I'm there with, then that's some level of peace. But if you're keeping me there, then that level of peace is where I'm at. Whether you have more peace or not, for one unexplained reasons by you, to me. But
I mean, you really know why.
that is keeping me from the pieces that are missing for me, which completes my peace that I can just that I find when I look at things in the right frame of in perspective, that I shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm not watching this with her, which I know she does feel, and I feel sad for that. I'm sorry, as I should if I'm thinking of it that way, and she should know that that's true, but that she should know that it's okay because I'm still with. I've seen this episode with her. I know what's going on. I'm in the middle of God's work right now. Where's the proof? I'm compelled to say it. Maybe I'm supposed to say it in a half an hour from now, but that wouldn't be compelled to say it now if that was the case. and so this is what I should hold to the highest standard, and there's exists a thing that certain things should be held uplifted, and you should disgrace other things or like certain things, even if they're good, for that as like an attest or a testament or a testimony or an example of your sacrifice for the truth and for your understanding of what things are really important. And it stands to reason that what's really important needs to be defended, needs to be respected, needs to be fully understood, fully respect, and not just through my own understanding, but with my understanding should be shared with people, because it brings richness to my fullness of consideration and development, and in a direction that is advancing from where. Okay, advance. Yeah, so good. Keep getting it. So, okay. Did you feel that? How? You see that? You see what I'm talking to the people. You see what's happening? The body language. You might as well just say it. You know what I mean? But then you'd be exposing the devil by saying it. So that's why the devil likes to do what he's doing through a cleverly designed, insisting, through posing, through opposing, but through having a spirit of opposition, which creates nothing to say that wouldn't, but a strong a strong dislike and disposition to what you're saying. And if it is, if what I'm saying is true, if what I'm saying is enlightening, if what I'm saying is revealing it, or is discovering and is developing a sense, a higher sense of consideration and reason, and getting things straight and sorting things out and eliminating things that the devil doesn't want me to eliminate. Get it? By doing it. Because God does, and he's the exact opposite of God. So there you have it. Now, what they'll do is they'll like awkward silence.
It's only a can opener.
Without a profound mind, you wouldn't perceive that as for how powerful of a counterattack it is, for the nature of how it's effective in order to expose it. No, I won't. In order to discover it, in order to call it out, in order to understand it, and to and to face it for what it is.
It did sound like your reaction to the can opener was a little
and shed light on the darkness and expose the devil without him being able to stop me with his strong, imposing, insisted entitlement, dominant, and ruse, and disguised. It's a deception that's really convincing. But if you disagree with it, he only has you believe that something bad can happen. It's the opposite. Something bad's happening because you believe that deception. Instead of something the opposite of that not good, and it's like world of state that has you swirling, and if you're buying into one of them, so all of them. Because you have to expose these things like I am now for them to be exposed to your awareness, which is already subconsciously true. That's how it's true when you say anything, if it is. So in order to defeat this powerful stance the devil keeps by having quite the rapport built up already, and a lot of like brainwashing and profound unlocking of the full, like unpacked, like missing pieces of that people don't consider, that go into everything together, that are critical, and to filling it all the way out and having the complete and full exposing the deception, understanding
sometimes it's about a jar of fat.
Of it the right way, freeing you from being under that spell and deceived and being deceived by that deception that exists because of what's subconscious only being subconscious, not being valued as if it's for any reason that's important enough to develop it all the way. By comparing it, by considering it and not forsaking it, but including it, by convicting yourself like, wow, I claim to believe in God, but yet I chickened out like that or something. So there's a lot to be, there's a lot that doesn't even get noticed, even if you're acknowledging that. Okay, just to give you a scope of how fucked you are, if you gotta, and you need my help if you're someone like Trump or Putin. Oh man. Luckily, I mean, if lucky, Trump will be allowed to hear this message. And if it's good enough of a message, direct enough, powerful enough, that he can get it in the most accessible way that he will be like, it'll, spell it out and good enough that even he could understand, like quickly getting to the, to where he would have to be like, with all that given information, he would have to like have these things in his mind to be able to see his own error of his own ways and see that this isn't just like for his image, this is for his own good, that he sees the truth. Because the truth is important to see, but do people understand why? They don't even take it that seriously, probably. They don't understand. They don't know why. If they did, they would be like, oh shit, that's how serious it is? It is. It is. Any little lie means that you're willing to lie about any little thing. So that's every little thing. So even if it's a big thing, that's not worth anything. I guess God's all-powerful isn't worth enough. It's worth as much as that big thing, but not quite that much as that big thing. And let's be honest, that big thing is built by deception, built off of the deception that the devil can create by the level of unconscious, subconscious wisdom, at the level of unacknowledged, undiscovered, unbrought up, unworked out, unresolved confusion by not having the conclusion, by not having the inclusion of all these things that you're supposed to hold dear. If you were being, if that was even in if you're the good guy and that was even in your frame of mind, then when somebody's pulling some bullshit, that would be in your frame of mind to not let them just fucking like win and let them get away with their bullshit. Because you could pull that card and be like, yeah, well then, yeah, but what about that? And doesn't that, and you explain why doesn't that negate what you're saying? So they would have to like see that for themselves now and face that. And then maybe a lot of times it's so deep, the deception, yeah, that there's like a fail safe if you'd say that, like that'll get them right back in. So I love you. So, but hopefully, or to keep them from seeing it even then, out of pride. Pride is so bad because even when you know you're wrong, this like pride that you don't see that's going on is causing you to be this like desperate like image to keep up that that exists through, like we already said, the negative effects combined. As now, and you don't see that as a thing and consciously, but in the back of your mind, that's like that's what you've been protecting at the heart of it all. So like deeply and deceived into thinking that that's like the meaning of life, that's the most important, that's what's most important, that's what's so important. Okay, so that creates like a pride, it creates like a fake image of yourself that you think is real, that you becomes the habit, and it makes you, it gives you it gives you a false sense of being, which has its effect if it works the way you want it to, in deceiving people to think you're great. then now people think you're great, and it becomes a responsibility instead of like, and it goes unnoticed that you're not even really getting what you wanted to get by having that, because it's not real, and you know that. So get things straight and get things straight, and you'll start to just get a feel for things by knowing that. Then I talk about another thing, and they start to align, and so these lines are still lined out, and that goes with everything. I'm not going to say this about this, and then if in the same ways that this applies into anything else, like not be applying this to have. And these critical things are the things that should just be there, that you should compare to anything in order to have a conclusion, or to compare to anything, because it applies to everything. I love you. And those are the things to apply. With all those things applied, it gives you the, oh yeah, this is a good idea for the right reasons, or oh, no, that's not going to work because this and that, and oh, but yeah, but God's all powerful. What? Come on, what does that even mean? You expect me to just like, so it just exposes that, okay, so make up your mind. Let's cut the crap. Do you just say for some like unvaluable like fucking, you're trying to deceive people way, like worse than the average person who's just saying it too to deceive them in the ways that just protect them from, like looking like a dickhead or something. And if you're a public figure using that and deceiving people, or going along being deceived, but also doing it to deceive people, to make them think you're somebody who they're supposed to respect, and how worthless that is if you looked at it. And that it's flawed. And can't you see that? And you can, so they can see that, so they could, they'll see that, but no one says it like that. No one's saying it to them like that. No one else is even thinking of it like that, most likely, in those terms. And that, okay, so it's up to us to get it together. And why? Because at the end of the day, long term, that's not the wrong thing to do. Right? If there's not wrong thing to do about that, then that's why that's the right thing to do. That's why. But I could tell you what's wrong with not doing that. I could tell you what's wrong with doing anything but that, if it's leaving that out. If there's nothing wrong with that, right? So you got to kind of like, you got to compare things, connect things together everywhere, and when there's something that is critical, and this is how you do it. We're developing by picking things up, and then save that, and then along the way picking things up because you're going that way. I'll save that, and then keep that up. And those things connect together. Oh, hey, how are you? Hey, nice to meet you. Oh, my grandma was there. Oh, we're related. And you like realize that someone's like related or something. You know what I mean? But that's how things are that are valuable. So anyways, before I let it go too far, I noticed that I'm supposed to circle back here. I'm working out like this system as a whole, with any system that's working out in a way, critically thinking about what working out means to me, and why it means that, Okay, so I'm working out things. All these things I'm working out are adding up to things that, after I work out all the other things along that level of working things out, is going to complete that stage set and level of working all that out together, and it all worked out and works together because it doesn't contradict. Like, you pick something that you can't. If you said, I don't believe in God and he's not all powerful, you wouldn't be a very very popular president. You know what I mean? For whatever, doesn't matter if you want to get down to why, but I mean, it does matter, but I'm not going to do that now. But if you just give it a glimpse, it's pretty, like, you could, like, see the why, kind of, with, and then define it to gain the understanding. But to get to the point, to say that, you know, even if that's true, it's, you know that it's true, that that's not going to help you. And, like, if you want to be the president, which you do, then telling the truth and saying, I don't believe in God, isn't going to help you without really and without even looking at why it's not going to like dig into that. And there's that answer, and that's one that, like, is that that answer is what, like, they see first, you know, and because that's the answer, and it's not the profound one though. So that they think, well, that's why. Oh, obviously because of that. Yeah. So they don't look deeper. So they don't even bother to, like, they think they know why. They don't even bother to, like, get to look deeper than that to find out and even think about finding out why it's so important. Why is it that helps you become the president? You know? So let's fucking put it together. Let's figure this out. Let's get down to the bottom of it, why don't we? It's like nobody thinks that that's what we should do, or nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to do that, and there's a reason. There's a good reason. It's not a good reason, but it's good to know what it is. Right? For a good reason, we should figure out why nobody feels compelled to, like, to go into these things and get to the bottom of it. Because there's an anti that is true, but the anti, which is what we have without that truth, spirit, is what you get, and what you don't acknowledge, that you ignore, because that's what it's subtly, like, making you feel like doing, but you don't focus on the feeling. You just focus on the sleepwalker's mindset of what you don't, like, notice. But if you think about it, that feeling is just telling you what to do about this or about that or about, like, this and that or this, and, like, to watch out, to get away from that shit. You don't want that, and just make you feel some negative way about something, but not if it's a negative thing. Unless it's, like, to an extent, your subconscious will do that. That's the good side of you, making you feel that. But if somebody's, like, talking about love or something, and they don't have the spirit in them developed enough, that's not seeing that the wrong ways, by not seeing it all the right ways, which is default settings for anybody. So don't think that it should be, like, hard, something to hide or ashamed of, because everybody, including me, even if I'm the one who knows best to be saying this, if that's true, maybe, but maybe not. But if it is, hold on a minute. having the right way to see things is not a bad thing. How would you do that? But yet, by not having it yet, just by saying that, there's like this opposite to that being true feeling about that. Get it? So what do you do when that happens? See it for that. See it like that. Understand it like that. Because then it tells you why. Then it tells you, makes you see why, makes you understand why. And then when you understand why, then you know that if you let that go on, and if you let it keep that up, what that equals at the end of the day, and why put it off? Why? That's just doing more of the same. Disrespecting the truth and letting something less important take that place, which is not going to give you what you need tomorrow or the next day, right?
Not today.
And maybe not today, but I'm gonna still, even if I failed, I'm not gonna say, oh, I failed, time to, all right. No, I failed, but I'm gonna keep going forward through it like I'm still gonna finish. I'm still gonna make a comeback. I'm gonna do the best I can from here, which wouldn't be to just give up, but that's what I'm supposed to settle with. If you only get the suggested option, then I guess you don't have any options, do you? And not a mind to think of it, and with the bravery and the audacity to go against that part of your brain that will punish you. Or I don't even know if that was it. But like, what's the big deal? It's unconscious what it is. Therefore, discovery is in order. I'm not gonna just accept things without understanding why it fucking matters. To just reject and to go with my feeling. You can. Let me know how that turns out. Let me know. Well, let me know how you think it's going to turn out right now. But you have to look in, think about it, or just be like, I think it's going to work out good. Out of, like, I want to win this fight. Without acknowledging that that's what just happened right there. If I just said that, then maybe you ought to like put some value, just some faith in that you might need me. I'm butchering it, yeah, I am. Is the right thing to just like give up? Since when is giving up and being a quitter not applied to everything then? Be a quitter, give up. Oh, you failed? Well, now you know not to do that, because that's not what you're good at. If you're good at something, you'll know when you just already are good at it, and now you have found the thing that you're good at by assignment. Even though you don't like that to do, you wanted to do that other thing. It was more meaningful. But you're a clarinet player, it turns out, not a truth seeker. You're good at the clarinet. Try to enjoy your own music as much as you can. Even though you wish you were a rock star because you like that kind of music better. You're like, I don't even like clarinet music. No. But it's any any help I give to the devil or the enemy is gonna hurt me, and that hurt is going to like be implying that I should just throw in the towel, and like trying to use that leverage to get me to buy into this insecurity of my fate if I go on with this and make it any worse. Voice. I said voice. Shouldn't have said voice. But I said it, and then I said worse because that was more towards the source and came with more force, which it deserved. But I make any little mistake and it's like blown way out of proportion. That goes to show me that that's a contribution of all the work I need to do, or that's a manifestation and contribution and a sum of how much work I need to still do, because on the edges of my discovered, profound, enhanced, and informed, and in place, and in order, reality built on things that I don't just say I believe, that I apply to, that I either say I believe that to an extent, but I don't have the balls to like fully digest what that means and how that changes everything. The foundation, that should be the foundation. God is all powerful. That's meaningful and beautiful. I want to believe that, but it's just too damn hard. And so I gave up right away as soon as I got to that point. I'm like, oh, it is? Okay. It's not too hard because shut up, don't think about it. Okay. But what if you can't shut up? But if it's hard, then it should be something, like, doesn't that mean that there's something of important? Shut up, I said, or you'll get the pitchfork. I'll compel you to grab a fork out of your counter drawer and stab yourself in the nuts. That wouldn't feel good. Or what if you just fail to like not lose your train of thought due to my interference along the way? And then of course there's the unrecoverable from and crippling humiliation that you deserve by all logic to be never live that one down and forgive yourself or recover all the way from the clear irrefutable damage, irreparable damage that is done to you by going out on a limb and making a stand for something that you believe in and want to defend because because you feel like you're just being a pussy not to do that and to let this affect you. But that's a foolish man's perspective, because I'll prove it. Go ahead and try it. See? It hurts. It hurt. It is what it is, man. It doesn't have to make sense. Just accept it, because it's true. See? I zapped you. You're supposed to be perfect at this right now already. How could you make a mistake if you're perfect at it and it's good or natural and just doesn't just sound good and make sense? But what are we living in, a fairy tale book In God we trust, and not in fairy tales. That's impossible. But God isn't. Because he's not a fairy tale. Because he's not a fairy tale. Tell yourself that. You need to believe that to convince them of it. How are you going to be the president? How? See, it's like if your motivation is just like all turned around to being dishonorable if you put it into perspective. Like, wow, you know what? I didn't even look at it that way. You know, that kind of points it out. You're right. That does make me seem kind of like disingenuous, and I don't really respect that. Just trying to be the president? That was the motivation for me fooling myself into believing that I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, because I say that. So that means that's all there is to say, bud. That's how it's done. You just say that and it's over. It's done. It's done. You say that and it's done. Mm-hmm. Done. That's the magic words. If I can say that, even if I am not thinking about that, I'm just saying that to deceive people, and the whole reason for was because I want to be president, and those motives adding up to the conclusion that I'm getting out of them, which led me to God, and that this is. Yeah, you're supposed to just say that, and you're supposed to fight and battle with the uncertainty if that's really true or not for you. But that'll strengthen you. And when you die, you'll be really good at it. Just trust it. Trust it. I don't know what that means, but I don't know what I'm contradicting in his ways by not knowing his ways. But along all the way there, which I should learn and could learn and would make me a better Christian by all means, if I even considered this much, to think of that. But it's just too much work, and I got presidential things to think about, more important things than how that wouldn't hurt to understand Jesus. Not just say I accept him as my Lord and Savior, because just in case that's true, and that's how you get over to heaven. I'm not going to not say that and be like, damn it, I should have said it, and then I'd be in heaven. That's why I'm in hell now. Not even expecting to throw him up there anyway. Hey, but I said it though. I said it with my mouth. I confessed it out loud. I confessed. A guy named Jesus Christ was nailed to a cross, and as atonement for my problems, which I know now that I'm thinking of it, are these ones, the ones where I have a lack of accountability for lack of understanding to how to not be a dick bag. So I'll just accept my dick bag ways and accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and be aware that I'm being a dick bag, but then become subconscious that I'm being, and not focus on being a fucking complete douchebag. I should have said that. I was supposed to hold for applause right there. We're learning. But just to accept my iniquities, even though it says that that's not true by Jesus in the Bible. It says, depart from me, ye that work iniquity. But I'm not gonna, because he said after that, he said that all I have to say is I accept him as my Lord and Savior, and that's called confessing it. That's the same as confessing it with my mouth to the people. Anyway, I'm not confessing that I don't have a clue what that even means, really. But he did get nailed to a cross for all of mine. So the price is paid for my iniquity that I'm going to go on ignoring with my ignorance in my lesser ways than my bullshit. The reason he died for my sins, in other words. As if that was valuable enough to me, for me to find it like worth anything that he did that for me to want to fucking honor him by not being a dickhead if I lined it all out. But I don't have to do all that, because all I have to do is be ignorant, and then God has to just forgive me because I didn't know that, God. That's the better way to live, ignorant and oblivious to my own deception that is stealing from someone else, not me. It's not like I'm losing anything, because I don't know what I'm missing if I don't have to look into it and then be stuck with a bunch of work to do. Oh, that's why accepting Jesus saves you from your sins. Oh. That you don't go to heaven. And then you'd have to fucking face it. The solution. It's because you didn't want to go to heaven enough. If you did, you would have been like, okay, what the fuck is this really mean? I don't get it. Like, accept him as, what does that do? What does that mean? What if his name was Billy Bob Thornton, and it was, accept Billy Bob Thornton as your Lord and Savior? Or if somebody said, accept Billy Bob Thornton as your Lord and Savior, what would be the difference to you? Other than Billy Bob Thornton didn't get nailed to a cross for your sins in these modern times. That'd be pretty wild. What if that happened from celebrities, like, say? I have to do it again. For Christ. His wasn't good enough all the way by itself. No, I don't know where I'm going with that, but anyways, if it's important enough to go to heaven, which it should be if you think about it, then it should be important enough for you to just put some real interest into discovering that's why accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior is not just saying it. That's why it's accepting it in your heart. That's what accepting him into your heart really means, as a science. Not just like, I accept that he got nailed to a cross for my sins, so it's alright to just be a crap person, like, on some level. That's my that's my defense speech. If it comes down like I'm wrong, that's what I'm gonna tell God, and then that'll solve it. No. You need to realize and respect the worth of going to heaven, for you to be able to perceive heaven It comes from within. You have to build the foundation. You have to set the stage into with everything that goes into it. To allow yourself to have everything together in your that works together. That's involved. In order to realize that you don't, that it's not just, it's not like a surprise that you don't know. You know? It's not a surprise. Like, you're ashamed that you don't get it. You hide it. But you don't, it's not a surprise that you don't know. You'd be surprised to find out that somebody else doesn't know the same way you don't. If something doesn't have enough weight, enough power in a good way, like, except Jesus, like someone's telling you, like a preacher preaching that to you, except Jesus, and you don't get it though, you don't know what they mean, it doesn't give you any powerful meaning.
I love it, yeah.
So you should
Is your phone charging?
say, I don't get it.
Yes.
I don't think they get it.
Is your phone charging?
Or they'd explain it. Yes.
Okay, good. I love it.
I love you. But without you, like, not just trying to lie to people for the and like Trump would, to say you believe in God. Maybe I'm wrong, but if someone's doing that, which people do, then the reason for it to be valuable, you have to develop that. So how are you supposed to perceive heaven and value it for what's so valuable about it if you have no understanding whatsoever of heaven and what it's going to be like, what it's like? What value are you expecting to get from heaven? Like heaven, what would make it valuable? So accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior means what?
Yeah.
What is it? Just that He died for your sins? So
I love you.
I love you. I love you. Which implies, it gives you an excuse, if anything, to just accept your flaws, accept your own bullshit, because because Jesus Christ died for your sins and forgives them, and every time you give it enough, even that much thought, you just use that as a cop-out, like, oh, well, I don't have to change or do anything. But that would be good for you if you thought it. So for you to not have to change anything is fucking yourself up, is fucking you over, deceiving you to just stay the same and stay the same and not change what has got you the same way you are, if that's you, which is not in heaven, which is not even like aware or with any wherewithal, with any question, with any consideration of that would lead you to realize that you're not getting it, you're missing something, like that there's something you're not doing, there's something you're supposed to do, you're missing something, you're not feeling something, you're just saying things, you're not getting anything of value from just saying things, because the motivation, you like, for instance, you want to be president, so of course you're going to be like, I love God, and as expected, because it helps, because it's going to help you. Now, if that's true or not, whether that's true or not, it could be. So if that was the case, you could see how that would happen. Now, if that was the case, then you might be you might not be acknowledging that you don't really believe in God, and why you started like using like trying to convince yourself you do, because the more convincing you are depends on how convinced of it yourself you are. I mean, how much you convince yourself. So then you'd have to realize that you just convinced yourself, and you don't understand on it. You just ignore it. You just accept that you don't understand, and you don't know, and you won't realize till you like have little time to, when you're like scared because something bad is happening and you're dying, and then you realize that you don't fucking have any faith, because there's a lot that goes with it. So if you're someone who says it to look good, or to be president, because it'll help in that. So if that's you, then if that's not then that's keeping you from I guess facing that you don't really believe that. It's just for, this isn't where I was going. I lost my train of thought on that one. I'll circle around. I'm going to collect my thoughts. But you think that you're doing it. That's it. That's all you're supposed to do. That's all there is to do. And you think you have it because it's not being like challenged. It's not challenging. It's not being challenged in any way that you don't really have it. So you think you got it. And if you're so like shallow and clueless, you'll go through life like not realizing and confessing to yourself, facing and examining, acknowledging and stating and confessing and knowing that that's not it, and you don't, and that's not true. You don't believe. You don't, because if you did, then you'd have to add in that God's all powerful, and that would have to really sink in and be the foundation. That is the foundation for everything else. If it doesn't follow that law, if it contradicts with that being first and foremost, because having enough faith for one in God would allow that to be fine. There's no logical reason, if logic itself is God is all powerful, meaning what? That there's nothing he can't do. There's no reason anything that he could do if he was, without him not being God, unless he had some other like point, unless he had a reason for doing something that he doesn't, that's being done, which does happen. But that's a more profound understanding. If something bad happens or goes on, it's only for God's allowing it to happen, when he could like make it go the way it should, but he chooses not to a point, because he's God. He knows better, and he knows, and the whole point is for us to let the consequence itself speak for itself, so that we will have to come faith through trial and error, and that he knows we'll figure it out, and he knows everything. So, and it is good, and it all works out for good, and that's why it's good, and that's what God, and that's why it's God, because see, and he's all powerful, and the way things are, the way that he, if you can imagine in terms, just for a way of understanding, that he knows best to know that for him to do it differently than the way it is would be for him to not be ever ever wise, to know like beyond our understanding why that would be why this way isn't better, the way it just is. So bad things happen, but it's a matter of understanding why, and why he chooses to do whatever he wants, right? He's all powerful, which is to allow that to happen, because beyond our understanding, it doesn't matter anyways, which he understands. It does matter, just not for the limited scope of how we see it and what it means to us, with limited understanding outside of ourselves, beyond ourselves, on the level of God, until we come around to the information given eternity, given trial and error, given I'm not going to keep playing the same thing that I've already mastered, so moving on. So, inevitably, in the grand scheme of things, given eternity and given all things considered conceptually, all concepts, all things good, therefore also evil, existing together, producing a reaction and producing a product, and having all those things together, which are working together in the spirit that they exist, and combined with all the other spirits, all other ways, and also contrasted by the opposite of all spirits. So, like a tornado is hot and cold, which are things, because we know what they are, and we can perceive them, and they fit in to everything as a whole. But so hot air and cold air mix, and that causes they don't just mix and nothing happens. They mix, and for a reason, and it's because they're the opposite. They have a profound reaction that physically, like physics in our own mind, has an easier time understanding than to try to understand that nothing would happen, except, or like they just like it's boring, or it's like boring if they just mix and then become lukewarm or something. But I don't know. Actually, honestly, that does seem like the more easy to understand thing. Like it seems like it would just like mix and then become lukewarm. But there's things beyond that included. So that was a bad example. But that does happen. Like hot and cold air mix, and then for some reason that causes them to like not mix, like water and oil or something, so easily, or so willingly, without having a little fucking standoff or something, without having maybe because each one of them is I'm starting to trail off here, but is like each one is so like has so much of an army that neither one of them is really willing to just like, you come into my you mix with me. No, you mix with me. I don't know, honestly. I have no idea. Certain things are probably just set the way that's probably just like not even like that's just like measurable scientifically, but it's not even really necessary, because there's no meaning or depth to that other than it's just hot and cold, which are just elements. Hey, I love you. Or concepts. I love it. They're not. I love it. They're senses. I love you. They're non-emotional, like vital sensations. necessary and perceivable, and go into the completion and the necessity of the completion of all things as a whole, as to, that emerge as something that's going to be, just happen to emerge as the thing in its place that is relevant, that is vital or crucial or important or useful or valuable, It adds to the vastness, adds to the detail of existence and all its glory, that's not like just cheap. It's detailed. It's fine detail. It's almost as if God put a lot of attention to detail. But at the same time, on the other hand, it could be like those details just exist because God just exists and they're perfect because God's perfect, and it's magnificent because that's what you get when you're dealing with something on this magnitude that is just everything as a whole, in detail, and something huge that's made of small pieces that add up like a collage. Like you can make a painting of someone's face made of photographs of their face, just pixelized or something like. I don't know. I'm getting a little sidetracked, but I'm feeling like I'm like getting on Faith's like patient. I mean, she's had enough. She's had as much as she can absorb out of this. I get it. I'm gonna get up and get something to drink. But I have much further things from here to establish. So there's that. Now, which one is the one to? Which one would be the right? I'm gonna have to take that into consideration, and which one has more value, which one has more meaning, which one has more reason behind it for why I should decide to just end it here and not unfold, or to sum up in summary what I've said, and to get it all in order. And without considering that part, which I just established, I might just think that the right thing to do is to just, even though something is telling me there's more that you can do more. But just going with that answer, without enough filled out, without the information filled out to give me a educated, like knowing why that's the right answer and being able to explain it if so, and considering the options. Okay, so that covers in every way it could possibly be, way, shape, or form. So this to the spirit that's trying to convict me, that's trying to imply and convince me and be prevalent and be infect me with its irrational and somehow like prominent, like, and desperate, I guess, need for my, like, for me to just abandon the full development of where I'm trying, what I know it's on a level that I need to circle, or that I need to come around to, and I need to circle back to where I was coming from, and remember to do that. Remember to get things to summarize, and that's important because it's how you would fully and maturely and with a developed way of doing what I'm doing, if any, like professing or discovering how it's done and everything that I should be doing, that if I knew. And one of the things people do is, if they're explaining something, they say it the best they can, but then they go back around to make sure they even like have it all together, or else what good is it if you can't even like think of where you started from? You're just rambling, maybe. So without further ado, that's the conclusion and the right answer. What I come around through critical thinking of what to do instead of just the obvious thing that I'm supposed to do, which is just like stop unpacking this and just go to bed with faith. And I'm like, that's the wimp way. That's the undiscovered way. That's the enable society to believe that fucking, and that your lie all along, which is to not your lie, but the spirit's lie, which is to let this spirit that is undiscovered or unfocused on or undefined, unexplained, be overwhelming and be the compelling force that you just know what it means, and that you should just like let it, like, and there's value in that, sure, but there's not, there isn't clarity, as in there's some unclarity, there's some clarity that can be gotten by filling in the blank. Okay, so I'm gonna circle back around to where I came from. Like the reality that people accept is the same pretty much, more or less, for most people. Now, that's kind of a coincidence, but not if you think about it, because either, no matter what, it's because you're gonna, well, let's just say, what people don't have established is that it is the way that, more or less, the way we all perceive it and accept and expect it to be, or accept it to be, but expect it to be, and find hard to, and expect everybody else to just know it that way too. And it is the same way that they're perceiving it, which is kind of can be like a coincidence, because it's not true, but it's in a way it's kind of like a coincidence, since it's not true, that we all have the same deception, but can really be broken down to that we all have what we start out with, subconscious, which is everything of God, but just on a subconscious level, as in the form of like feeling, in the form of what that feeling means. And if you were to look deep, and you could describe what those feelings, what that subconscious knows, and by doing that, bringing it up and bringing it to the surface and practicing it like I'm doing now, to allow it to become or allow yourself to become conscious of it by providing yourself with the means in which to turn it into a practice, and the ends in which to turn it into a practice, and the practice, which is the means to meet the ends. And with that in mind, right there, let's focus on what the ends should mean, or should mean, and what the means are, which are necessary. And if that ends is valuable enough, and figuring out what it is, and its completion and detail, to understand it fully and completely enough to know every detail about why it's so valuable, why it's worth the means, if it's the right thing, if it's the thing that it should be, by all means. Let's get down to the ends, even if just conceptually, by process of elimination. What could it be? What should it be? Thinking of it critically, with all things considered, what can it be? What should it be? Or just by thinking of it from an innocent child's perspective, and that being valued not for no reason. So, get that straight. For a reason which goes hand in hand and doesn't contradict with the ultimate, like when you come back around to yourself, like as a child again, but this time you have gone through these, you've learned, like it doesn't mean much to just be like a child but you're just like that. That's just, there's no other way to be. You start out as like a child, and then you start to learn, you start to be fed things. Then now that you know about these things, they exist, they're in your conscious, you're kind of like curious about it, even though they're not good, but you're curious because now this is like kind of new, this is information. Your design by God is, without you realizing it, even if it's not good, even if it's bad, is to be curious and to experience, is to be curious so that you will find the information that you don't have, which is ultimately is a profound version of who you are as a child. Because it's fortified and forged through the lack of consequence for being who you are, who you're supposed to be, and that being fail-safe to the consequence of learning all these new things through curiosity and through the awareness of it being brought to your attention and discovering a different thing that gives you, when you focus it on it, it gives you a different feeling, a new feeling, different than the one that you're just used to having. But it's the opposite, so exactly the opposite. So it kind of feels bad. It kind of feels like poisonous, or like it's hurting you, it's killing, it's like sucking your soul out, which it is, as long as you're looking at it, learning it. But at the same time, it's kind of like feeding you with like this other, like, I don't know, your heart feel, at the same time your heart like is like enriching, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. So that's why sin is interesting at first, but then eventually you lose that part that goes with it, because then your heart's like, okay, for you to keep doing this is kind of just like, why are you doing this? Now you're just left with how it hurts you. So being left with that, given enough time, anybody is gonna start to hold on a second, I gotta freeze, pause, and fucking assess some kind of a situation here that's not allowing me to enjoy this party with you ladies as much as I ought to be. You know, I'm supposed to be feeling good, having fun. You'll notice if you're not. You get all awkward and weird. Something's poking at you. You can tell the difference. This isn't how partying used to be fun. It's not even fun anymore. Alright, so then you get to the end of doing that thing where there's no more need for you to keep doing it, because you're not getting, the heart's not telling you like, all right, keep like, hold on, pause it.